G'day guys and welcome back. Today I'm going to be taking you through what it really costs to live in Medellin in 2025. I did a video like this back in 2003, but things have changed a little bit, so I just want to give you guys an accurate update on exactly what you're in for if you're choosing to live down here. Just one quick disclaimer before I get into it, guys, is that this cost of living budget is basically going to cover all the essentials, all the things that most of us have in common. Obviously, we all live different lifestyles. Me, for example, my whole lifestyle here is basically based on work, sports, and gym. I love to travel, so most of my monthly budget I keep low so that I can spend more on travel. But some of you guys might do a lot more social activities, networking, going out multiple times a week. So that's different things you need to consider. Because we're so different, I haven't factored in all these bits and pieces of what someone might want. I've just put in the basics. This is going to give you an idea of the cost of living to achieve that. Obviously, you need to make some adjustments, higher or lower, depending on what type of lifestyle you personally live yourself. With that said, let's get into it. The first thing on the list is going to be your biggest expense, and that is rent. So for rent, there's two options that we can go with, guys. The first one is Airbnb, obviously the most famous platform. And the other one is actually an up and coming platform, which is called Nomad Barrio. I actually did a video about it a couple of months ago. I have no affiliation with this at all, but if you want to use this, you can use it as well and compare prices with Airbnb. First of all, you need to pick somewhere because rental prices in a place like Poblado is going to be a lot more than somewhere like Envigado or somewhere like even Laureles, right? Let's just pick Poblado because probably most of you watching at home are going to want to stay there, especially if it's your first time in Medellin. That's the most tourist district. That's where most of the tourist themed entertainment and things are, right? And probably the easiest place to stay if you don't speak Spanish because most of the English speakers are going to be there. So let's start with that. And let's just say you're a single person and you want, let's call it a 1-bedroom with a kitchen, right? So let's just search that and see what comes up. 1st of May to 1st of June, one guest, and let's search. Let's do the filters and let us go entire home. If you don't click this, it's going to give you rooms. Let's do 1 bedroom. If you don't click 1 bedroom, sometimes it will give you a studio apartment. Leave the rest of this all empty. Maybe you want to throw in kitchen as well in case you just like to make some food at home. And then let's put the budget down to, let's say, 2,000 and let's try and find something nice. Yeah, actually 2,000 is a bit high. Let's put 1,500 and see what we can find. So as you can see, we're more or less coming into these areas. You guys, if you've watched my videos before, you know that I love this area. It's called Manila, probably one of my favorite parts of Poblado. Now let's click this and see if we can find something nice. All right, open this up, 1,285. There's another one for 1,349. Let's open those two up. All right, this place, 1,300 a month. It's got a little work table if you want to work. If you work from home, it's got a separate bedroom, which is good. This place is plenty fine. It's not too old. It looks pretty comfortable, although it's not huge and it's not modern, right? Let's check out this other one. Looks nice. Looks small, but it looks fresh enough. It's not super old, but also good enough, right? So this is maybe the type of place that you'll find for about $1,200 a month on Airbnb, right? So if you want to come here and you want to have, big, I guess, aspirations of getting a penthouse with the greatest view in the whole city and you want to spend like $1,000 a month, not going to happen, especially for monthly rentals. Maybe if you search really hard and you rent it for long term, like 12 months, you might find it. But on Airbnb, no chance at all. But if you do find something, then well done. Another little tip is if you get away from this main area and you just push up a little bit here, if you get up into the hills a little bit, from here to the main tourist district of Provenza could only be 5 minutes in an Uber. Walking's not recommended because there's hills and it's going to take a bit longer. But if you're willing to live a bit further away, you can get much nicer places. So if we look at this, which is probably 5 minutes away, look how much more modern it is than the places we saw. And it's still $1,300, right? So just stay a little bit further away. There's no reason to really be 5 minutes walk because the Uber is so cheap. We're going to get into how much that is a bit later in this video because this video is all about cost of living. We're going to cover that in the section on transportation. But trust me, just stay a bit further away, get a really nice place. This is just one example that I found from looking about 3 seconds. $1,299 a month, $1,300. You can look at Nomad Barrio as well. This is another website. Basically works the same way. You could type in El Poblado, entire property, you type in 1 bedroom, and then you search. The main difference in this is there is no security for buyers yet. So what you would have to do is, for example, let's just find somewhere cheaper. I found this place, 1-bedroom apartment for $972. How this one works is, let's just quickly go through the photos so I can show you guys that this is not a dungeon. I mean, it's an older place for sure. Is it comfortable? Depends on what you perceive as comfort, but it's okay, right? $972. What you'll do is you contact this guy on WhatsApp and then you'd speak to him about it. Here's all the stuff that you need to look for so you don't get scammed. I think also they might have integrated the new system here because now it says after 2 days, the payment is released. Read all this stuff, guys. I'm not saying use it or don't use it. I'm just saying it's an option. Go and search. If you find a property that's really good and well priced, well below Airbnb, then it might be worth checking this out a bit further. So those are the two options. From what we've seen, I'm going to say this is a pretty nice place, $1,300. So our budget for rental is going to be $1,300 a month for Poblado in a nice place, 1-bedroom. And living by yourself, not sharing with anyone else, right? And I'm just going to go back to the map as well, just to show you, right? Look at all these figures, guys. Like these people that say, oh my God, I'm going to rent for $500 a month. There's nothing. Look, literally, look at these prices. That one's probably the cheapest one, $1,184. But you got $2,600 here. You got $4,000, you got $2,000, you got $1,000. There's literally nothing for under $1,000 on Airbnb in Poblado. So let's just accept that. And I'm telling you, it can be done, but it's got to be through the local channels, not on Airbnb, long-term rental to get anything under $1,000. So let's call it $1,300 a month. So the next thing that we want to tie down is health insurance. And health insurance here really varies depending on what type of health insurance you go for and also how old you are, right? The older you are, the more your health insurance is going to cost every single month. My health insurance that I have right now is $35 a month. And it's because I actually have a long-term visa to stay in Colombia. There's a few more steps that you have to do before you can get that rate. But if you don't want to go through all that, or maybe you're not at that stage yet, you can get month-to-month health insurance. And the one that I recommend is Safety Wing. It has a great range of coverages. There's absolutely no excess. So any claim you make, you don't have to pay any extra. What that's going to cost for a 35 to 40-year-old, I believe it's about $50 a month. And it's month by month. So you can get it and then you can cancel whenever you want. So even if you're coming for a month, 2 months, there's no contract. So it's really, really good in that regard. So for that one, we're going to add $50 a month into our budget. And if you want more information on that, or you want to get a quick quote, then just click the link in the description, the first link that I left for you, and you can get that right away. So the next thing we need to cover, guys, is groceries, right? So many of you are going to want to come here and just buy every single meal out, and that can be done as well. But for the intents and purposes of this exercise, I'm going to be assuming that we cook most of our meals at home. Let's say we eat out 3 times a week, yeah? So I'm going to be showing you how much it costs to eat out in a little bit, but let's talk about groceries right now. I'm actually going to do a live shop for you. And if you guys don't know about an app called Rappi, it's really, really cool. I'm going to get it up here on my phone. Let me just record the screen. There we go, screen recording. This app is called Rappi. Basically what it does is, it's like Uber Eats, but it's on steroids. You can buy absolutely anything on here, including groceries, and they deliver it to your house, right? The membership for free delivery is about $5 a month. So I'm going to put that in the budget as well. But now let's do a shop for the week and see what it's actually going to cost us. I actually did the video on this and then people had a go at me for picking hella random things like soy milk, salmon and things like that. So we're going to keep it very simple. Let's just go into here and let's just type in basic things that any normal non-fancy person would buy. So let's just recap. We got pasta sauce, we got a whole range of vegetables. We got bananas, we have avocados, we have rice, we have chicken, a loaf of bread, we have 2 cartons of eggs, so 24 eggs, and we have 2 1-liter cartons of milk. And all that comes to 184, as you can see down the bottom, 184,000 Colombian pesos, 42 US dollars. Obviously, I probably forgot some things, so I'm just going to add a little bit to it, and I'm going to call it $60 a week for shopping. So $60 a week, times that by 4, $240 for groceries for the whole month. Next on the list, guys, is gym membership. This is SmartFit. This is actually a Brazilian gym. It's all over Colombia, all over Medellin, and basically wherever you live, you're going to be within probably 5 minutes from a SmartFit. It's also one of the cheapest gyms in all of the city. The only thing you need to worry about is that some areas can be very, very busy. So try it out, see how you go. If you don't like it, there's always other options for other gyms which are a bit more expensive. So here we see the SmartFit plans, guys. Plan Black is what you can sign up for, and you can use any of the gyms in all of Latin America. For the first 2 months, it's 49,000 Colombian pesos, which is at today's exchange rate, $11 a month. And after that, it goes to 109,000, $25 a month. It's free sign up and it's 12 months contract. Let's put that in to our budget of $25 a month for the gym membership. The next thing on the list, guys, is mobile phone. What I do suggest is that you get a prepaid mobile phone service from one of the local carriers. For example, I use Claro. It's been pretty good. I use it for about 3 years now, and it's going to cost you between $10 to $15 every month, depending on which service you get and how much data you want every single month. For the intents of this exercise, let's just put in the upper level of that, $15 every month. At this point, you might also be thinking, what about fixed services at home, like paying for the internet, gas, electricity, water? If you get an Airbnb or any type of rental, the price includes all those services. The only time you'd have to pay it yourself is if you went the local route of what I told you earlier in this video to get the really, really cheap rents. When you rent something from a local landlord or a local agency for, 12 months, then you might have to connect and pay for all the things yourself. Most likely you will. But if you get anything from Airbnb, everything's included in the price and you don't have to worry about anything extra. Another expense that I have personally, and I think is really great because it's very affordable, is barbershop. The reason that it's looking very sharp right now is because I get a haircut, I get a face exfoliation, massage, whatever it is, and a beard shape up. It's not as sharp as it was a week ago because I had my haircut a week ago. All that costs only $15. So I'm putting that in the budget and I'm saying, let's do that twice a month, $20 each time, let's call it, depending on where you go. So $40 a month for the barbershop. Next on the list is transport. And this is actually one of the most affordable things in the whole city. A lot of people ask, should you get a car in Medellin? And I personally will never ever get a car just because it's more stressful, first of all, to deal with all this traffic. And I actually like getting Ubers because it's so convenient. As soon as I'm in the Uber, I'm just responding to emails or messages, catching up on things like that. And it's really, really cheap, guys. It almost hasn't changed at all since when I first arrived. Don't worry about inflation and all these kind of things. Uber fees are basically exactly the same. If it's within your own neighborhood, so if you live in Poblado and you go inside Poblado, it's going to cost you probably $1 to $2 on average. If you go to another neighborhood, for example, when I go and show properties in Poblado, that's a bit more expensive. I remember a couple of weeks ago, I was in the car in peak hour. It took 45 minutes to get back, or even close to an hour, and that cost me like $5. So most of your Uber rides are really, really, really cheap. For the purpose of this exercise, I've put in the average Uber rate is $3, which is actually a little bit high, but let's be conservative. So $3 per Uber ride. I'm saying that I'm taking Uber twice every single day. So I'm going somewhere and I'm coming back in Uber. Obviously you guys are not going to spend this much, but I just want to give you an idea of how affordable it is here. And that's obviously 60 times 3 is going to cost you $180 for transportation for the whole month. Now let's get to the one thing that I actually see has changed a lot in the last 3 years since I've been living here, and that's meals at restaurants. Everything else I talked to you about, groceries, rent, gym membership, mobile phone, barbershop, all that stuff is more or less the same really. I haven't really been shocked at any increase in price, but prices of things in restaurants, out of control in some areas, especially in Poblado. When I got here, I was really surprised because I came straight from Mexico to Seattle to here, right? And I thought Mexico was cheap. But once I got here and I saw the food price at restaurants, everything was basically $5. Above $10, you almost would never see unless you went to like the most fancy restaurant. But now it seems like $10 is almost baseline and things are pushing $15, $20, $25. I understand it's probably because in those tourist areas, you get a lot of short-term tourists who are coming from places like New York, where any restaurant at any place, any meal might be like $30. So when they see something that's 20, they're like, oh, that's cheap, let's pay it. But doesn't really reflect the real price of things. Because if you go to places like Laureles or Belén or Envigado, you can still find the meals at restaurants for $5. But the prices in Poblado now are really, really overinflated, because I even saw the other day someone selling a bagel, right? A bagel, I think it was a smoked salmon bagel, and that was priced at 65,000 Colombian pesos, which is $15 for a bagel in Colombia. That's one of the things that I've seen really, really jack up. So just remember that when I'm preparing this budget for you. Let's say $10 for the meal and $5 for a drink. So $15 each meal is what I'm going to call it. Normal mid-level restaurants, I'm not going to say we're going to go to the most fancy place 3 times a week. So that's going to cost you $180 every single month to go out and eat 12 times in that month. So the budget now comes to a total of $2,030. I think this is really, really accurate for someone who's living in a 1-bedroom in Poblado, who's eating out 12 times a month, cooking the rest of the meals at home, taking an Uber every single day to go somewhere. Someone who's pretty active. If you live in Laureles, this budget will come down. If you live in Envigado, this budget will also come down. If you don't take $180 worth of Uber every month, this budget will also come down. But also remember that there's no entertainment factored in here. If you're going out 5 times a week, drinking a lot, partying a lot, you want to factor those in as well. But all in all, I'd say a healthy budget would be about $2,000 a month. And that will come down if you live in some other neighborhoods which are not Poblado.